Don't wait till the battle's over. Don't wait till the struggle ends. Shout now, shout now, right now. Shout now, shout now. Don't wait till you make it.
Hey, what's up, and welcome to the PHILLIP Show. Listen, we can't talk about, it seems, anything. You know that we're all in this time and in this period where, once again, verbiage, how we say something, is it funny, who says so, and should we be offended? If we are we allowed to act on it? And if not, then what's supposed to happen? So grab your coffee. We just got out of this huge ordeal, and I know that many of you know it. We got out this huge ordeal with Dave Chappelle, Netflix, and all of that. Now we're back into the spotlight with communication. What is okay to say? There's a lot of things in politics about these bills about don't say this, say this. It seems like verbiage, communication, boundaries. Are there any? What about comedians? Are they being censored? So to jump into it, I have my good friend here today, the Parker Scott. She is a comedian, a business owner, a model, all around fly girl. Parker!
Hi!
Okay, so for you out there in TV land, I have not seen this woman in so long. I can't, I'm going to try and continue, but I can't even.
I know. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. So that rushes back to you, and we'll get to it.
I will get to it. So first of all, how are you and where are you?
I am fantastic. So a little backstory. Phillip and I met in Atlanta in the industry that we are still currently in. So that is huge. So, so now I'm back in LA, where I live and thrive. I'm still in the television and film industry, still in front of the camera, but now more prominently behind the camera, as I am a costumer in the television and motion picture industry.
A costumer?
Yeah.
And
a legacy. Because
what?
And a legacy. So as you know, when I was there, my mother is now a costume designer, but she was supervising and assistant designing while I was there. And now I'm like a legacy in the same industry, thriving and doing amazing films.
Listen, and I'm going to go back to when we first met, because I am so very excited. One of the things that I get so passionate about is that my friends rock. You know, my friends rock. And I can't say it enough, because if you're out there in TV land, surround yourself with people that have passion and that are determined to meet their goals and to succeed authentically in who they are and continue forward. I met this woman I met you at a photo shoot. It was a video shoot, as a matter of fact. She was a model for a video shoot, and I was there. I believe I was the makeup artist for that video shoot. And from there, our worlds continued to align, and we became fast friends. And we do have stories to tell.
I'm gonna cry.
But, you know, it's like through life and through everything, through the stories, through all of it, you are in LA doing the daggone thing. So I salute you. I remember you said LA, and I said, oh, okay. You know, like that's what we do in the industry. We go where our passions lead. And I'm so excited that you're just out there, you know, costuming. Okay.
It's giving everything. But actually, I made a stop before I went to LA. I moved to New York.
Oh.
I lived in New York for 5 years, and I moved to New York to do comedy. I went through the entire Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yep.
Like, I went through the ringer.
Yeah.
And I was doing comedy at Caroline's on Broadway and just working the circuit. And baby, it got cold.
Well, listen, you know what? I'm so glad that you jumped into the comedy, because it gets cold, number one, in New York, period. But you know, the tone of comedy and the risk of comedy and the bare bones of comedy it just throws you out there, right? You say things that you want to have land, and they may or may not land. You know, your career is on the line. So I want to ask you. Now, I'm sure you've seen, you know, what's going on in the news. There's this Chris Rock, this Will Smith, there was Dave Chappelle, there was the LGBTQ plus community. What is it about comedy? I want to get your feedback. What is it about comedy that seems to some to no longer be funny?
So let me use rap, for example.
Okay.
The things that rappers say are crazy disrespectful.
Okay.
So I feel like that runs analogous to the art of comedy. Fine. It gets disrespectful. I think dealing with what people are saying, whatever your art is, comedic, musical, poetic, whatever the case may be, whatever your art is, within that art, if there's no jest in the disrespect, like, why would you say that? Knowing anything about it. For me, I always go back to, I wonder how you were raised.
Oh. Okay. And this is, you know, you're talking about the speaker at this point. Yeah. So, you know, and I think a lot of people have those questions, you know, for, let's use what just happened, you know, just recently with Chris Rock and Will Smith, right? You know, completely out of order. You know, nobody condones violence. And I just want to say that up front and out loud.
No. Okay. Yes. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Nobody condones violence.
Right.
Nobody wants to get smacked. Nobody wants to have to smack anybody.
Sure. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I don't want to have to.
I don't want to hit. Does it look like I want to hit somebody?
Right. Where is, and I know a lot of people are jumping on Will Smith, and I really want to get your perspective. A lot of people are jumping on Will Smith for how he responded. Is there any sort of accountability, you know, even from being a comedian, what is accountable when it comes to words? Are we accountable? I believe I had a show about this before, but it seems to come up again and again. Where is somebody held accountable for what they say?
It's so distant. It's so distant. I think accountability started to be a buzzword just recently.
Isn't that sad?
This behavior of not being accountable, just disrespectful, things that you just have to brush off that happen. But I mean, there are small microaggressions of disrespect that you have to deal with at your job, like your coworkers trying it. It happens tremendously under the confines of race. I'm not your homegirl. Don't girlfriend me. You're being weird. It's the future. We know this is a thing. and also read the room.
Okay, so
you don't have to have social cues. Why? Are you cool? That's my smack. I say, are you cool?
Like, are you okay? Like, are you all right?
Are you okay with asking me or approaching me or interacting with me in that manner? Like,
where do you think did we come to the point where people are becoming more brazen with their words, or are we reaching a point where people that are the subject of those words have sort of had enough?
The straw that breaks the camel's back is not what broke the camel's back.
Okay.
Unless that straw is the one straw, like people who just don't take nothing.
It's the only straw.
The first straw that lands on the back is quiet for everybody in here. I'm telling you right now, I'm here to work. We should never have a negative interaction. This is a job.
Yeah.
As soon as somebody tries it, you do.
When it comes to comedy, though, is it, you know, if I were to come to see one of your shows, do I take that chance as somebody who's attending to say, I know that this might happen, so I just need to prepare and let whatever is said go, or is it the person on the stage who has to say, you know what, there might be somebody in here who can't handle what I'm about to say. Let me see who's in let me read the room and see where or is it a balance? Or are we just too sensitive, you know?
Here's sensitivity, I don't think is a negative thing. I don't think you can be too sensitive or not sensitive enough. It's a personal emotion. And how could you ever measure what's your, what's your unit of measurement for how I should feel?
I love it.
So with that being said, I did my deductive reasoning by just saying, well, they know each other. Did it feel like a good time? Did somebody write that for you? Did you have the ability to see it beforehand to say, you know what, I'm gonna lay off them right now?
Okay. Yeah.
Because they know each other. If they were strangers or, in the same circle, but don't have any reference point for each other, like they don't speak outside or they haven't made millions of dollars together or anything, if they don't have a relationship, but they're both actors, yeah, it might be a all right.
Yeah, because I don't know you and you don't know me. That must be why you're talking to me like that.
Right. Somebody told you to say this and you said it because you. And to call a spade, the things that we're in the media for, I don't think that side of Hollywood is paying attention to August Alsina. I could say August Alsina to Mel Gibson or Jim Carrey, Ellen. Maybe Ellen might know. But if we're going to talk about the other side of Hollywood that's discussing this in the media, you don't even know the players involved. You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah. That is true.
So somebody who knows what's going on, what's up, dog? It can't be, I'm nominated, bruh. Come on.
Well, this is what I thought. And I had the conversation with somebody who also is in the industry. And I said, back to your point, read the room. Everybody knows, of course there's impromptu. I think everybody knows where people are seated. You know exactly who's going to be there. You do your jokes sort of ahead of time. You know what's kind of funny, what's a push, what's pushing the envelope, and all of that. And to your point, the response seemed to me as though kind of one of those things like, I don't do you anyway, so I don't even know why you would even say that. That's what I got out of it, because it was to me, it was too personal. It's like, you know what? We've already been here. I told you. So now
it was almost like, pity pat. Like, oh, you got me? Okay, well, let me get you. Because it escalated when he got back seated, but that was not the height of the moment.
Yeah.
It could have very well played out like it was a spoof and they dealt with it in the back. Like, it could have been over after, Will Smith smacked the crap out of me. It could have been over right there.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not excusing the anger and just the spectacle because, bruh. And
it was much. It was
being in that environment, even when it's just beyond a benefit of a doubt, you are protecting me in the situation, and thank you for that. It is so uncomfortable to be in the presence of altercation. And we have normalized watching people fight. Normal people. People are going on shows scripted.
That is a good point.
Agitate.
And that's a good.
And do not argue in a place. Why are you arguing in a place?
From all of this, because I think that looking at it, I always like to see the learning lessons, because nobody's going to really know the background. Nobody's going to really know the why, the passion, the flagrancy of the mouth or the hand or these hands. Nobody's going to really understand that except the people there. From the people outside kind of watching, with you in the industry, right? If you're there with all of these people, for the people that are watching, that are not there, is there, in your perspective, is there the opportunity for people to kind of start second guessing like how they act in public, or do you think this is just like a one-off and it goes back to business as usual?
I agree with Whoopi. This is gonna go away. This is gonna.
Yeah.
If people stop, as soon as people stop talking about it, it'll go away.
As soon as the show's over, no more.
It goes away.
No more talking about it. Yeah.
The viable topics, yeah, let's have a conversation about them, but don't. If we have a conversation about them, this can't be the foundation of the conversation because it's not where it started.
Sure.
We are cultivating this in society, and then when ish gets real, then we have to do this. And it's just like, from one perspective, it's just like, when have you ever been in a situation where you saw someone smacked and they didn't return fire?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true.
I didn't get smacked. I really don't. I have no feelings. All you can do is say, well, if it was me.
Yeah.
But if it was you, what?
Yeah.
Because ain't nobody walking up and smacking you in the face. One point that I wanted to make about the situation, and then we can move on and do whatever you want to do. Sorry. I wanted to just say that I don't understand how we've gone so far away from how we were brought up that you think that it's worse to get smacked at the Oscars than it is to get smacked in church. The Oscars is not the most inappropriate place I've seen a smack. I've got my whole entire behind whooped in the presence of God.
This is true. This is true. But I think that we hold people to different standards based on what we deem as affluent or important. To me,
ourselves. We should be holding ourselves accountable and not just talking about it. Like everything is a big talk about. Like I was saying before, with the shows that are on TV and these women of opulence are here arguing in public spaces and making it normal to be fussing, arguing, and fighting.
Yeah.
And talking about weird stuff and like destroying each other's family or talking and doing all this weird stuff.
Yeah, but when the Oscars becomes reality TV, we have a problem. That's what you're saying.
And what is everybody thinking? The first thing out of your thought is that this was staged.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Jim Carrey opened his mouth, the internet went and dug up his whole situation with walking on stage at the MTV Awards and kissing Alicia Silverstone in the mouth. And then it's just like, oh, it was staged. But I mean, who suggested that that'd be a thing? Like, I get it, they're actors, but this isn't a gig.
It's life, it's life.
This is you doing, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
People accept awards from all over the world. Hey, what's up? This is me. I'm on set. Thank you so much. I love it.
So fun.
And it's giving honor to God on the Wi-Fi. Giving honor to God, my mom, Phillip, for having me on the show. We did it.
Look, Ma. That's so fun. All right. So let's transition. Let's transition on, because I think let's put a cap on it. I think that one of the things that we have to do is look at it in terms of real life. And are we balanced with our expectation as well as our outrage? And I think that we also need to look at it and say, what can I learn from this? And who am I? One of the things that I thought was interesting is like, who am I making the villain? Which one is the villain? The one that said it or the one that responded to what was said? Which one needs therapy? The one that said it or the one that responded? One needs sensitivity training apparently, and the other one just is like, I don't do you no way, so here, have this. So I think through all of that, hopefully one of the things that we can do is say, where can I grow? What can I look at and say, hey, my words matter, and hey, I may not want to respond this way? Because I think if we have these conversations, which are national and ongoing to the point of the show, then we have the opportunity to learn and grow as well.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So just segueing, but I still think in the same vein.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the suppression of your actual valid emotion over years and years and years has a breaking point?
I do. I can't tell you where that breaking point will be, but I will tell you the answer is yes. That's why I'm very, very clear with my concern for people who feel as though they can say whatever they want without repercussions, no matter if my response is over the top or whatever it is. You risked it saying something that was off color to me. So I think that because we don't know people's lives, because we don't know what's sensitive to people, that we just really have to be careful. I'll use me as an example. I'm very sensitive to certain topics, and the wrong person says something in some way around that particular topic that was flagrant. I don't know, because I know me. I'm not excusing whatever my response is. I'll never excuse it. I have to take full responsibility of it. But again, if you're trying to be risky, then there are consequences that you may have to accept, So
I think society also has to take accountability for the fact that they have made the most heinous things comedic. Well, things that are happening to people and their emotions being captured. And then it's just hilarious that this person was ridiculously distraught. And then that person has to see that thing happening over and over and over and over again, because now something serious and intimate and painful happened to you and it's been made jest of.
I think that's where comedy seems to quote unquote be under attack. And that goes to the question that I asked you. Is it really, or have people actually just had enough with what you've been saying the entire time? And I think to me, people, because somebody will say something on stage and say, but they make fun of this other group. They make fun of these other people. They say it all the time. Yeah, but you said it to me and I have a problem with it and I'm allowed to have that problem. They said it to this group and they didn't do anything. Well, I'm not that group and maybe they should have, but I'm doing something. And I think people have a hard time with not being able to control how somebody deals with their offense.
I have to go back to the audience, because as a comedian, your audience is a thermometer. You're not doing shows if people are in the audience like, boo, that was whack.
Yeah.
As a collective, a room full of people that are like, good night. It doesn't have to be a grandstand, but if you're quiet in the audience, like, yeah, that one didn't go.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to rush and say something really quickly, or is this a planned set? This is your job. This is your work. You have to say things that you think people are going to think is funny.
Yeah.
That's your job.
Yeah. And that is 100% true. And I think comedians have a very difficult job. I think it's very difficult, because you have to identify what's funny and what's not, and the envelope.
That's why we make fun of ourselves so much.
Right. And I think to me, that's funny, because I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't got anything to do with that. Right. So I don't have anything to do with that. But I also, for the comedians, I do also think that the people in the audience, if that's why they're there, I think there is a wherewithal that we also have to have as attendees to know, number one, the style of the entertainer. And number two, it's like, don't sit down front or I'm gonna talk about you. And I'm gonna talk about whatever that is. And I think that there has to be this understanding from both sides. I don't think anybody needs to walk on eggshells. I also don't think that anybody needs to be surprised if somebody responds to something that they did not think was funny. There should be no surprises.
It all goes back to how you were raised for me. Like it all goes back to that.
Did not.
It does, 100%. Because I say that because I started cracking jokes because people were talking about me. So it wasn't my emotional response to cry. My emotional response was never be sad that people have jokes. Oh, snap. Other people are laughing at this? That really wasn't funny, and there's nothing I can do about it. I have eczema, and eczema is a bad bee because it still exists. So they are not curing eczema either. Just to be clear, it is a thing, and it is terrible. I want to stand up and endorse eczema, and it's not serious to anybody, but it is.
Yeah.
Eczema could have ruined my life as a kid because I was wanting to wear shorts and people were laying into me. Kids are mean. Everybody says it. Kids are mean, but they're really honest. And it's just like, I've never been hurt in any way. So I don't have an emotional response. I'm a kid. People are laughing. This is cool. Not laughter.
Yeah.
Laugh.
So is it like a defense?
Jones you. I'm getting ready to pulverize you.
That's a good point.
And add insult to injury, I'm a woman, so it's just like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say? What would you say to the people to the people who are just over comedians, just over them? You know, because people lump people into entire, situations, and they paint everybody with a broad stroke, like cancel comedy. What would you say to people who are a little bit disappointed in the choices that comedians are making right now?
Grace.
Grace.
It's got and why it has to be Grace. Why did people laugh?
Even
in a room full of people and you said what you said and people laughed. I feel if we're gonna just take a poll, the poll would say that, okay, that was okay. You don't know that person personally. You're basically just discussing a situation that is not private in the public.
Right.
And getting your opinion and getting the opinion of you're having a town hall, basically.
Yeah.
Did you guys think this was weird or was it weird? It was weird, right?
Right.
This is weird. And this is what I would have done if I was in the situation. Where it gets sticky is the disrespect. And
how do you identify, like you said, like somebody said something to you and it could have been disrespectful. How do you identify disrespect? Because what somebody might say to me, I might think it's the most disrespectful thing ever. And you ruined my entire day and maybe the next 5 years. To somebody else, they're just like, oh, I didn't pay that person any attention. How do you identify what's disrespectful? I think that's the problem. It's identifying like, that was too far. That was too far? I just said 16 other things that sounded crazy, but this was the one. How am I supposed to know that?
So you've been introduced to people that introduce their friends to you like, this is Shelly, she's crazy.
Yeah.
At that point, it's your responsibility to say, well, what do you mean crazy? Well, for me at this point in my life, what do you mean crazy?
Not the follow-up question.
Absolutely.
not the probing questions. Like, tell me when you say crazy.
Based on how your friends say crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Are we getting ready to go out in public? Is it crazy? Altercation in public crazy? Oh, I'm cool.
Right.
Oh, girl. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to make it.
Oh my gosh.
And your homegirl that I really don't have a point of reference for that I might have to say something to, like, you need to chill. Because we parked too far.
Right. So you have to gauge it and ask and things like that.
it's relationships, and no, you don't have to have a relationship with everybody that you encounter.
Mm-hmm.
But people are treating people so crazy right now. How do you even really get a gauge for what is disrespectful and what's not?
Tune in next time as we continue our discussion and learn how she found the strength through her journey to keep moving forward. See you next time.
Don't